Hello, this is Alfred Gelders. The topic today is the algae bloom control. This is for my environmental management class. On this map, I'm showing the location of the urbanized areas. The urbanized areas are all here in red. All these areas right here are urbanized, also around the center of the state, especially around here, the lakes. But now these areas produce a good amount of pollutants. All these areas have backyards. People put fertilizers in the backyards, and eventually all that is will end up in the waterways. The waterways will bring all those nutrients along with some chemicals that come out of leaking septic tanks, will be carried by the waterways, these tributaries, and will end up here in Lake Okeechobee. Now, on the next slide, I will talk about the farming issue. This part is about the urbanized issue. The next slide will talk about farming. Let's go to the next slide. Now, on this map right here, you can see the interactive map. You see this arrow moving down south. Now, like I mentioned in the previous slide, this arrow represents all the nutrients bringing they come from leaking septic tanks, farming areas, backyard, etc., into the lake. Now, the ideal flow of this, all this water, should follow this path. Should go from here south. The Everglades is a really great filter. All this polluted water should go down here, should be drained, filtered by the Everglades, and then ultimately into the ocean. The issue here is that this part here in brown, this area has been drained. It used to be part of the Everglades, but now it's all farming. So now we have farming areas over here. So the water can no longer flow freely down south. Now we have actually made, with the state, a dike that contains all this polluted water coming from all these different areas. And when the lake it has too much water, then the water is released, and you can see here on the arrows flowing to the east and west, and will end up here in the ocean, and that's one of the biggest problems. So all the pollutants, all this algae that grows in the lake, eventually is released into the ocean. Ideally, it should flow south. The Everglades will filter all those pollutants, and all the nice clean water will end up in the ocean. Unfortunately, this is not happening due to this, and this is the biggest issue that we have now. Now, here's some facts about the algae blooms. What are they? Basically, the algae blooms are a natural occurring event. It's just like we can actually make it happen more aggressively if certain factors are in the ecosystem, such as hot temperature and a good amount of nutrients. And here is what actually is the cause of the algae blooms. On this map, this basically shows the type of vegetation in state. All these are swamps. You got all these marshes around here. We have a lot of orange trees, red maple trees, and live oak trees on the center and north of the state. The policies and concerns. There is a task force. This task force was composed by Governor DeSantis. Something will be done. This actually was his one of his campaign promises, is that he will fix this problem. He hasn't done it yet, but he is in the works. So hopefully soon we'll have some news on what is being done to clean all this mess.